Hello YouTube, welcome back for build day 7. This is actually going to be part 1 of a 2-part video of the work done today. This one is more of actually a recap of what was done on the rest of build day 6. So taking a look around here, you can kind of see I have the car just kind of semi-fitted together just to kind of see how everything was lining up. Obviously, once the screws are tightened, the front end will come together, but primarily I was looking at the exhaust pipes to see how those came out, and really satisfied with that. So we'll take a look here and see exactly what I had done to get those exhaust pipes in. So how I actually did this work was I took and drilled through the frame rail and then used the hollow tubing to come out the side. I'll show you guys how I secured that to allow the glue to dry here in a moment. But looking at the driver's side, looks really pretty good here. Get that locked in. Originally, again, I was thinking about trying to find some way to fill this, get it all filled in to be more prototypically accurate. However, after just kind of looking at the original car and stuff like that, and trying to work out, sorry, my camera is not wanting to focus. There we go, that's a little better. After looking at the original car, I think to be able to do that, it would be not impossible, but it would be extremely difficult, because you would basically have to get the car completely together like this and then paint the entire car, because you'd have to fill in this gap, get everything looking good, and then clear coat or repaint the entire car. I'm not willing to do that. So I think I'm going to stop with it here. I'm going to do a tiny bit more work on the driver's side here just to kind of get that sitting a little bit nicer. But again, is it going to be prototypically accurate? No. But as I mentioned in part 6, there's so much missing detail and just poor detail on the bottom. I'm fine with a little bit of inaccuracy just to keep the build moving. I'm thinking I'm probably going to take, and like what is on this side, I'm going to open it up a bit more to the front, and then I'm going to go ahead and flare this back out, kind of like what I did through here. This side I like a little bit better than this side right now, but I think I go ahead and get that flared out and move the front of the opening a little bit. I think that'll take care of that. Outside of that, let me go ahead and get the car apart here. Everything's, like I said, just a real soft fit at this point with the screws. And we'll take a look here. So how I had done that was I got some cheap wooden clothespins from a local dollar store here in the US, Dollar Tree, and clamped it to where the actual clamp piece was sitting on the frame rail like that, and that just kind of held the outer side down and against the actual chassis base plate here to get that molded in. So was really happy with how that came out on both sides. Just ran some extra thin around, so I'll probably be like the most I'll do to this tonight, I think, is just get another coat of primer on it, make sure that this looks all good, especially back here again. Just make sure that those are all okay, and then we should be good to go there. I'm still working out how I'm going to run the remainder of the exhaust pipe. I'm going to play around with a couple of ideas here. Still got some tubing left over from my first attempt. I'll use this as a template just to see if I can find a good way to route this up and around the lowered tubs here, which, looking at a reference photo from a flip that happened at Riverside in '64, and I apologize, I cannot remember the driver's name. He was driving the 28 for Holman and Moody. It was not Fred Lorenzen, if anybody would want to think that. It wasn't, but the tubs here are lowered a lot more than what the real cars were. It was almost flat through here. So probably, again, with the work that they had done, they probably removed out these dropped tubs and just flattened it out on the bottom. But again, way too much work for what I'm wanting to do to this kit and willing to do for this project. So that won't be done there. Still got to figure out the engine support as well. So that's kind of what's going on with the chassis. The body, there's not a whole lot. Went ahead and I know I mentioned it before, the Molotov pins, they're great, but there's one thing that I really dislike about them, and I'll try to do it here on the end. If you just touch and rub on them, they start to lose that chrome effect. If you look here on this end, really pretty shiny. I mean, a few imperfections, but relatively shiny. Chrome, this end has started to matte. Pretty much the moment you touch it, it loses that. So if anybody has a good way, I've already tried using clear, but that immediately matted it, even on stuff that had sat for a while. So if anybody's got any ideas of how to clear this to where it keeps that chrome look, I'm all for giving it a shot. Otherwise, I'm just going to take and kind of fix it up here and there and things like that, and just kind of let it be not necessarily the most perfect chrome job. One other thing I did this last week was I used Tamiya's black accent color here, and just ran that along the grill lines, around the Galaxie 500 decal or emblem there on the grill. And I'm really happy with how that came out. Really makes it look a little bit more normal, having, or like, you know, you actually have openings between the grills. So in either case, that was just a quick part one to the work done today. Like I said, I'll be working here through the night to get a couple of things kind of tidied up here, and probably will be doing just another shot of primer. Once that is done, I'll come back at you guys with another part for 7, just to show you any work that had been done and where everything's sitting. Have a great evening.